Repeat after me.
Not every movie can be a winner.
Not every movie can be a winner. You may recall that I slowly started to like Care Bears Nutcracker more. I think I liked it more in memory than I did watching it. And then I watched Care Bears movie and was like, okay, let's keep this going. So now here we are with Care Bears movie 2, A New Generation. And I'm still going to do all of the Care Bears movies, but as of right now, this is in last place for me.
Yikes.
We'll still talk about it, don't you worry. If you clicked on this video, you're probably my friend and I sent it to you, so thank you very much for watching. And if you're not my friend, also thank you very much for watching. I'm glad you're here. I'm Bailey, and on this channel, I yap about the things that interest me and the things I think will interest me and then don't. If you would please like, subscribe, maybe send to a friend, and maybe follow me on TikTok at BLYHDGN. That would be great. Oh, today on the mic, I forgot to do it the last couple of videos. We've got Green Baby. She's wearing the Birthstone collection. This is Emerald. They recently redid it, and I have no money anymore, so I will not be buying anything from the new Birthstone collection. But here's Emerald. I wish the Go-Go boots were like purple so I could put them on Daphne outfit, but that's okay. So the Care Bears movie 2, A New Generation, was released in 1986. Allegedly, this movie is a prequel to the Care Bears movie. We'll circle back to that, don't worry. This movie had a negative reception because of over-merchandising, poor quality, and themes that were too dark. Personally, I don't think the themes were too dark. I would agree with the quality, and I wasn't there. I don't know about the merchandising. And like we said for the last one, I think I am just from a time where we're fine with that and honestly kind of expect it. But to get to this point, there would have been a time where it was new and it was gauche. So it starts with one Care Bear and one horse sailing a ship, and then a storm suddenly starts, and then there's like this red sea monster, and their mast breaks in their attempts to get away, and because like the storm, and they're like, oh God, we're all gonna die. And guess what their precious cargo is? Baby Care Bears and Care Bear cousins. And then they get sucked up a rainbow where this hideous star tells them that they have more love and kindness than anybody else in the world. So they get to go live in the kingdom of caring, which is honestly where I want to go during Pride Month.
And actually, all times a year.
He also names them True Heart and Noble Heart, gives them their belly badges, and tasks them with keeping the world like safe from the darkness. We get a musical number. It's a montage to introduce us to some of the characters. I do like the message of the song, but I do not enjoy the song.
To say that I'm different, I'm special, it's true. Let the magic of my color put its powers on you.
The caring meter, I guess, came with the Kingdom of Caring, and Noble Heart and True Heart are a lot more in tune to it. Like, they're not even in the building. The caring meter goes down and they're like, oh, we gotta go answer that. But because they have a million babies, only one of them can go at a time. So the bear, True Heart, is the one who goes to Earth. They are still figuring out transportation to Earth, though, so when she puts on her bag and jumps, do you think she, A, opens a parachute from the bag, B, crash lands on Earth, C, catches a ride on something already flying, or D, flips over and releases a parachute out of her belly badge? I'll let you think about it. The answer is D, but also kind of B because it immediately pops and she falls onto the earth. She lands in a racist summer camp and finds out that Swift-Heart Rabbit snuck in with her. We see children doing a foot race, and the kids that we're supposed to care about, John, Don, and Christy, come last, and then the really jock guy bullies them and says, you'll never be camp champ like me. Dude, now you have to pick up litter. So I kind of wonder why there's so much litter at the summer camp if that's what you do when you lose a foot race. I feel like they should maybe just pick up their trash and throw it away. And also at no point do you see adults. John, Don, and Christy decide to run away because they hate summer camp, but they get split up. So then True Heart ends up talking to John and Don. They're rude to her. She tells them to focus on what they can do instead of what they can't do. They insist they can't do anything. And then Swift-Heart Rabbit starts crying and they like get her to hit them to stop crying. And then True Heart is like, see, you can do something. You can babysit. So then they ride in the cloud car to the Kingdom of Caring, and True Heart and Noble Heart are like, hey, that meter's still up. We're gonna go look for Dark Heart and also figure out what's going on, and you're gonna babysit. So let me get a montage of them taking care of the babies. The babies are incredibly cute. I will give them that. Do you guys remember that just weird period of time where everything was baby? Muppet Babies, Baby Looney Tunes, pup named Scooby-Doo. Add Care Bears to that list for some reason. Trueheart and Nobleheart do not find Darkheart. Christy ran into Darkheart after she ran away, and he tells her that he will make her camp champ, but when he comes back, she has to do whatever he asks of her. And she thinks that's a fair deal and just sells her soul to the devil. In a way that I can't explain, he looks like a Rankin Bass character. Darkheart disappears when John and Dawn show up, and they tell Christy that about their change of heart and how they feel capable now. Nobleheart and Trueheart bring the Care Bears to Care-a-Lot and the Care Bear cousins to the Forest of Feelings. We get a montage of them growing up. And I can't tell how much time passes because at the end of the montage, the human children are older, but not as much older. Like the Care Bears are definitely much more mature than the humans are. Does time move differently? Do they need less time to mature? If they need less time to mature, do they not live as long? But in Nutcracker, they didn't age between the events of going to fight the Mouse King and then them being adults. Turn my brain off. Okay, we're back. The Care Bears and their cousins still regularly meet up. We see Christy is camp champ now, and she is mean about it to everybody else. Darkheart sneaks into Care-a-Lot by pretending to be the care meter reader and takes advantage of their naivety, and then is actually very bad at kidnapping these bears and other animals, and crashes out, which that's what reveals that it's Darkheart. But then Nobleheart and Trueheart show up, so they all Care Bear stare at him and it banishes him. I do think that this looks better than in the first movie, but I miss the weird sound effect. Trueheart and Nobleheart go back to looking for Darkheart and tell the Care Bears that it's their job now to watch out for everybody on Earth, like doing the general care stuff. So who was doing that before? I guess nobody cared. Darkheart has come to collect his debt from Christy, and what that means is she has to pretend to be in need so that it lures the Care Bears out, and then he captures them. And she is really not having it. She doesn't want to keep doing it, but he reminds her that she owes him a debt. And then the Care Bears catch on to it, but only like the main character ones and Braveheart Lion. And then Darkheart falls into the water and apparently can't swim. He sinks like a rock. And Christy saves him, and he's like, why would you do that? Like, you would have been free of me if you didn't. She's like, well, you're still a person, I think. The camp is turning evil because of Darkheart's presence. This is very much similar to the carnival that turns you evil because of the book. A moose attacks Dawn and John in the forest, so then Friend Bear and Secret Bear are kind of summoned.
There's gotta be kids in the world with bigger problems.
Turn your brain off. Secret Bear does a mating call to get the moose to leave them alone. This really has like almost nothing to do with the plot, but I wanted you to know that it happens. And then they bring John and Dawn back to Care-a-Lot. Maybe Kingdom of Caring. I'm not sure when they're inside where they are. The only way I know where they are is this rainbow fountain. And everybody's excited to see them. They remember that day that they babysat them as babies. The remaining characters strategize and are like, dudes, we can't count on our parents anymore. We get another musical number as everybody returns to Earth. They try to sneak into Darkheart's cave. Meanwhile, Trueheart and Nobleheart still have yet to figure out that they are not chasing Darkheart. They are in fact chasing his shadow. They are so bad at their job. They have been doing this for how long? Maybe it's a good thing the Care Bears took over. Darkheart captures every bear and every cousin, but Darkheart is uncontrollably yawning and can't control his shape-shifting anymore, so he goes to bed.
I think there's a diagnosis for that.
The Care Bears reveal that their plan was to get caught so they could all be together and have the extra powerful Care Bear stare. Dawn and John want to help Christy. Christy does not want to give up being camp champ, which feels like small potatoes at this point. But she also doesn't want to keep helping Darkheart. So then John and Christy tell her, well, you've already done what he asked of you, so I think your debt is paid, so now you can do whatever you want, which means rebel against him. The Star and Heart friends that I haven't mentioned until now free majority of the bears, but they have to go get the key for like the last cage. So two bears and Braveheart Lion go to get it, so they sneak in. I'm obsessed with how they tiptoe in. But they wake up Darkheart, who then makes them all disappear, at which point the human children arrive. That's when Darkheart reveals that he trapped everybody in crystals. I would wear a necklace with that. I think I'd put Wish Bear in it because he's my Pookie. Nobleheart and Trueheart finally show up. Christy aligns with them, and then Darkheart is like, dude, get out. Just get out now. That way you'll be safe. But she doesn't take it. He removes Camp Champ from her. And then this is where I get confused. I think he loses control of his magic in his attempt to fight the Care Bears. Like, he's just kind of lashing out at random, and it keeps beating up Christy. But for some reason, not John and Don. Maybe they're just better at ducking. Christy releases the rest of the bears and cousins, and they join Nobleheart and Trueheart in their Care Bear stare. And then Darkheart really gets her with his magic and just immediately gives up and starts asking for help to save her. He says, "Help me bring her back from where I sent her."
Where did you send her?
Don't worry, we never get answers. Why does she still glow like that? What is your magic, Darkheart? Beyond having red eyes and shapeshifting, the Care Bears apparently do not have enough love and care to save Christy. So John, Dawn, the bears, the cousins, Trueheart, Nobleheart all start chanting, I care, and Darkheart joins in on it, and then Trueheart wants me to join in.
I don't care. I don't like Christy.
You don't get to ruin the world and then say, I'm sorry, none of it affects me. Shut up. But it works because of Darkheart's help, and it revived, and allegedly mine. And then the cave collapses, and when they get out, they realize that Darkheart is a real boy now. He has a sense of whimsy. I guess that comes with being a real boy, and everybody forgives him. Then we get a montage of just all of the characters having a lake day, which does look fun, but where are the rest of the campers? The non-humans fly home on the boat, and Darkheart, I don't know what he named himself as a human, devotes himself to making sure everybody feels like Camp Champ. Then we see the star again. He's the narrator. I stopped listening and started staring at his cheeks. I think he thanks you for caring. Don't make me watch this movie again to confirm. And then a song plays over a montage of people just vibing out, and like a rainbow order of scenes of them as babies.
That's the end of the movie.
We made it. Congratulations. I have a lot of questions. Number one, how did the cousins end up living in the Forest of Feelings? What happened to their belly badges? Why don't they remember the Care Bears? Why don't the Care Bears remember them? Remember, we had a whole song where they're comparing where they live. They have been to Earth and Care-a-Lot, and also the Kingdom of Caring, before the events of the first movie. But by the first movie, everybody has forgotten. And they've lost their belly badges. What happened? Another question. What happened to the Heart Helper? The Star Helpers are in the first one. The Heart Helper is not. Did he die? Did he find somewhere else to go? Does he actually live in the Forest of Feelings? We don't see him there, but maybe he's busy. Where do babies come from? When I wrote that down, I meant Hugs and Tugs, because they're not in this movie. But also, where did the Care Bears and the Care Bear cousins come from? We just see them as babies. I would even accept, like, they pop out of the ground. A special flower, like the Twiller bees in Barbie Thumbelina. Where do babies come from in Care Bears? Nobleheart and Braveheart are given their belly badges by the Talking Star. And in this instance, they kind of had to earn it, like the My Little Ponies earn their cutie marks. But the Care Bears and the Care Bear cousins just have their belly badges. So did they receive them when Nobleheart and Trueheart got them? What were their names before they met the star? Also, by the events of the first movie, the cousins have lost their belly badges. So we just keep circling back to, what do you do to lose it? Because then they had to earn theirs to join the kingdom, like to go to dinner with them and like have Hugs and Tugs sit on their lap. So then I kind of think that because when their parents got it, they all got their badges, maybe this is like original sin, but nice, original kindness. When did the bears move full-time to Care-a-Lot instead of the Kingdom of Caring? Did something happen to the Kingdom of Caring? Did it fall? Oh my god. Does Darkheart know about the evil book? Does the evil book know about Darkheart? They have very similar effects on the rest of the world.
Maybe they're siblings.
What happened to Nobleheart and Trueheart? They're not in Care-a-Lot. And I would accept it if they were like old, because looking at their heights, like I think they're fully grown and the rest of the Care Bears aren't yet. Maybe they're adolescent, but they're not baby anymore. And that's okay. Do they die? Can Care Bears die? Do they die of old age? Or did they retire to the Kingdom of Caring and everybody else went to live and work in Care-a-Lot? But then we get stuck again. How did we get to the Forest of Feelings with no memories of each other? Okay, that is where my questions end. This movie was 76 minutes long. If I was given an hour left to live, please put this movie on. It will make me feel like I lived like an extra day. When I watched it just to watch it, and then when I watched it to take notes, I had to speed it up both times. It's... Do not spend more than $1 if you see this in like a thrift store or garage sale. It's free on YouTube. Just watch it there. Sped up. I think this might be the first one where I can confidently say I watched this movie so you don't have to. To rate this movie, I think I give it 1 out of 5 scary talking old man stars. Wow, so that was a movie.
It feels like a movie.
I just need to do an outro now so that I can be free of Care Bears 2. Care Bears Movie 2, A New Generation. Also, it's not a new generation. It's the same bears, plus like 1 extra, but younger. That doesn't make you a new generation. It should be Hugs and Tugs if you want to call it new generation. Oh my god. I am so hung up on stupid minutia of a movie I didn't even enjoy. I have never written fanfic, but maybe if I reach 500 subscribers, I will try to write a fanfic about what happened between Care Bears Movie 2, A New Generation, and the Care Bears movie to have them forget each other and their parents and the heart helper friend guy. But you guys have to be nice to me about it because I've never written fanfiction before. All right, so if you made it to the end of this video, thank you very much. You are a superstar. Please like, please subscribe, please share. Please follow me over on TikTok at BLYHDGN and donate to your local PBS station. I'll see you in the next video.